The story of Rosalía. Rosalía Villatabella was born on September 25, 1992, in Sant Esteve Sesrovires, a small town near Barcelona, Spain. From a very young age, music played an important role in her life. She grew up in a close family with her parents and her older sister, Pilar, who would later become her manager and creative collaborator. Rosalía has often said that she was fascinated by music as a child and that she loved singing everywhere, even at family gatherings. According to stories she has shared in interviews, one moment that deeply affected her happened when she was around 7 years old. She sang at a family event, and after hearing her voice, some relatives became emotional and started crying. Rosalía later explained that this experience made her realize music had the power to affect people deeply. During her teenage years, she became interested not only in pop music but also in flamenco, the traditional musical style from southern Spain known for its emotional intensity and difficult vocal techniques. Although Rosalía was born in Catalonia and not in Andalusia, where flamenco has its deepest roots, she became passionately dedicated to studying it seriously. She eventually entered the Catalonia College of Music, where she trained for years under famous flamenco teacher José Miguel Vizcaya. Rosalía spent an enormous amount of time studying vocal control, flamenco history, musical composition, and performance techniques. Friends and teachers from that period often described her as extremely disciplined, perfectionist, and obsessed with improving artistically. Before becoming famous internationally, she spent years practicing and experimenting with music styles while performing in small venues and collaborating with other musicians. One of Rosalía's earliest projects was a collaboration with Spanish producer Raúl Refri. Together they created the album Los Angeles, released in 2017. The album focused heavily on flamenco influences and emotional themes such as love, pain, and death. Critics praised Rosalía's voice and artistic sensitivity, and many people inside the Spanish music industry started paying attention to her talent. However, it was her next project that completely changed her career. In 2018, Rosalía released El Malquer, an ambitious concept album inspired partly by a medieval Spanish novel. The project combined flamenco with modern genres such as pop, reggaeton, trap, electronic music, and hip-hop. At first, some people were unsure whether such a mixture would work, but the album became a massive success. Songs like Malamente and Pienso en tu Mira attracted international attention because of their unique sound and striking visual style. Rosalía quickly became known not only for her voice, but also for her artistic creativity, music videos, fashion, choreography, and aesthetic vision. Many critics considered El Malquer one of the most innovative Spanish-language albums of its time. Rosalía herself was heavily involved in the creative process, including visuals, styling, concepts, and musical direction. One reason many people became fascinated by her was because she seemed determined to create her own artistic universe instead of simply following trends. Her success also sparked debates about cultural appropriation because some critics questioned whether someone from Catalonia should perform flamenco music so prominently. Rosalía responded respectfully in interviews, explaining that she deeply admired flamenco culture and had studied it seriously for many years. As Rosalía's fame grew internationally, she began collaborating with major artists from around the world. She worked with singers such as J Balvin, Bad Bunny, The Weeknd, Billie Eilish, and Travis Scott. These collaborations helped her become one of the most internationally recognized Spanish artists of her generation. Despite becoming famous in mainstream pop culture, Rosalía continued experimenting creatively instead of repeating the exact same sound. In 2022, she released the album Motomami, which showed an even more experimental side of her personality. The album mixed reggaeton, bachata, electronic music, flamenco, ballads, and avant-garde sounds in ways that surprised listeners. Some people initially found the project unusual, but many critics later praised it for its originality and artistic risk-taking. Rosalía explained that the album represented two sides of her personality, strength and vulnerability. Songs from Otomami became extremely popular online, especially on social media platforms like TikTok. Rosalia's image also became iconic during this era because of her fashion choices: long nails, bold makeup, futuristic outfits, and energetic performances. Many young fans admired her confidence and creativity. One interesting thing about Rosalía is that she has often been described as a perfectionist. People who work with her frequently say she pays attention to extremely small details in music production, choreography, visual effects, and performances. She has admitted in interviews that she can become obsessed with improving projects until they feel exactly right to her. Outside music, Rosalía has shown interest in fashion, visual art, and creative storytelling. She has attended major fashion events, collaborated with luxury brands, and become known for her distinctive style. However, despite her glamorous public image, Rosalía has also spoken openly about the pressure and exhaustion that can come with fame. She has explained that constant public attention sometimes feels overwhelming and that balancing personal life with a global career can be difficult. Rosalía usually keeps much of her private life relatively protected, but her relationships have often attracted media attention. One of her most talked about relationships was with Puerto Rican singer Raúl Alejandro. Fans loved seeing them together because they frequently supported each other publicly and even collaborated musically. In 2023, they announced their engagement, which excited many fans around the world. However, later that same year, news appeared that the relationship had ended. Both artists asked for privacy and denied some rumors spreading online. The breakup became highly discussed on social media because many fans had viewed them as one of the most admired celebrity couples in Latin music. Despite intense attention from the public, Rosalía generally tries to stay focused on her art and career. Friends and collaborators often describe her as hardworking, emotionally intelligent, and deeply dedicated to creativity. Another important aspect of Rosalía's story is how much control she has maintained over her artistic identity. Unlike some artists who depend heavily on producers or companies to shape their image, Rosalía has consistently participated in the creative direction of her music videos, live performances, concepts, fashion, and sound. Today, Rosalía is considered one of the most influential Spanish artists of modern music. Her journey from a young girl studying flamenco intensely in Spain to a global music star admired around the world continues, inspiring millions of fans and young artists who admire her originality, ambition, and fearless creativity. Another fascinating aspect of Rosalía's career is the way she completely transformed the image of modern Spanish-language pop music on an international level. Before her rise, very few Spanish artists mixed traditional flamenco with urban and experimental sounds in such a bold way while still achieving massive global success. Rosalía became known for constantly reinventing herself visually and musically instead of staying comfortable with one style. During interviews, she has explained that she enjoys taking creative risks because repeating the same formula feels artistically boring to her. Fans often admire how every era of her career has its own aesthetic, fashion, sound, and emotional atmosphere. Beyond music, Rosalía has also become influential in internet culture and fashion trends. Her hairstyles, nails, expressions, dance moves, and outfits are frequently copied online by fans around the world. Despite becoming one of the most recognizable Spanish celebrities internationally, she still speaks proudly about her roots in Catalonia and her connection to Spanish culture. Rosalía has also shown admiration for Latin American music and artists, frequently mentioning how genres like reggaeton and bachata influenced her creatively. Another thing many people appreciate about her is her work ethic. Collaborators often say Rosalía spends extremely long hours recording, planning performances, editing ideas, and discussing creative concepts because she wants every detail to feel meaningful. Even though fame brought criticism, pressure, and enormous expectations, Rosalía has continued evolving artistically instead of trying to satisfy everyone. Today, many critics consider her one of the most creative and influential artists of her generation because she helped prove that music in Spanish could be experimental, artistic, emotional, and commercially successful at the same time.
Remember to like, subscribe, and write in the comments, "Hi Sally, I like your videos so I can give you a shout out."